Okay, hold on. It's not. All right, we are ready to go. And good morning to everyone. Thank you for your patience as we work through our technical difficulties a little bit there this morning. But we are so pleased that you are here to join us. And we have here with us representatives from Savannah State University who are going to share with you more about the dual enrollment options that are available at Savannah State, as well as how you, if you're interested, how you can get involved with those opportunities. So I'm going to let our guests introduce themselves, and then we will begin with the rest of our presentation here today.
Again, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Brian Dawsey, and I serve here at Savannah State University as the Director of Admissions. In addition to myself, I have Mr. Carson Tyson here, who is our Assistant Director of Admissions, and is going to be our point of contact as relates to students who have an interest in dual enrollment. And on behalf of our interim president, Ms. Kimberly Ballard Washington, our faculty, staff, students, and alumni here at Savannah State University, we thank you for this opportunity to be able to come and share with our students of the Savannah and Chatham County Public School System in regards to dual enrollment opportunities here at Savannah State
Okay, Mr. Tyson, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Karsten Tyson. I'm the assistant director here, the assistant director of admissions here at Savannah State, and I work closely with Mr. Dawsey. And again, just to iterate what he said, it is a pleasure to be here on behalf of you, on behalf of the university, and get to know you guys and talk a little bit more about what Savannah State University could offer you all while you are in high school.
All right, so Mr. Dawsey, you can go ahead and get started. What we're going to begin with is just what makes Savannah State unique and why you should participate with dual enrollment at Savannah State. So that's where we're going to begin. And Mr. Dawsey, your screen is shared, so you may go ahead and begin.
Good. Okay. We want to get started. We want to thank you again for this opportunity to come and share with you a little bit about an institution that we hold so dear and near to our hearts, Savannah State University, as relates to dual enrollment. So now let's talk a little bit about what is dual enrollment. To kind of just give you some high points, dual enrollment, it provides high school students with an opportunity to take college courses for both college and high school credit. It also gives students an opportunity to attend college part-time while continuing to take high school courses, but full-time dual enrollment is also available. So for those students who have already satisfied your required high school course requirements after your sophomore year going into your junior year, and if you've already satisfied those courses and want to take classes and want to come to the institution full time, that opportunity is also available to you. Dual enrollment students also attend classes on the campus of the college or university located or in the nearby community. So this gives you two options. You can be able to take classes on campus, or you can participate in our eCore initiative if that's something that you are interested in. Now, since we are in the pandemic, we offer dual models. So we have what's called hybrid classes, where there'll be some days that you will meet on an online platform and some days that you will meet physically face to face, or you can meet completely online through the institution. So it's similar to the eCore, but with eCore, you're in that environment and you may have a professor in the University System of Georgia teaching that class. Here at Savannah State, we have an online option that you can have just a professor from Savannah State teach that class. It depends upon your level of comfortability. If you want to do totally virtual online, or if you want that hybrid experience. And as well as students may earn up to 30 semester hours. This is a new initiative that was brought on by the state legislature. So some changes in regards to dual enrollment, and one of those changes is that students may earn up to 30 hours. That is the cap. So before we go a little bit more into about dual enrollment, let's give you some information about our esteemed University of Savannah State. We were established November 26, 1890. We have the designation of being the oldest historically black college and university in the state of Georgia. Of course, we're the oldest institution of higher learning here in the city of Savannah. Ms. Kimberly Ballard Washington is our interim president. We try to keep our faculty-student ratio 17:1, so that way you can have that one-on-one interaction with your professor and you're not just a number in the class. And we are accredited by the Association of Colleges and Schools, SACS, COC. Now, of course, we're talking about dual enrollment. We said 30 hours is the max that you may have, can be able to take in regards to classes as it is spelled out by the state of Georgia. But of course, we don't want to just limit you to 30 hours. So we definitely want you to possibly become an actual full-time student here at Savannah State. So we want to share with you some of the degree programs that we offer. So these are the various different degrees that we offer. What you see in red is considered the most popular among students. So if you have an interest in any of these different degree programs and you met that 30-hour cap, you want to continue on after your senior year at Savannah State University, these are the various different majors that you can consider. Now, as we talk about the process, and we definitely want to kind of hang our hat here a little bit because we want to make sure that students follow the process as it relates to dual enrollment. First, we want to make sure that you meet with your counselor to determine your eligibility. Please, 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 please don't leave your counselor out of this conversation. We've seen this done before. And what it does is it holds up the progress, and then it then allows some gaps in regards to making sure things run smoothly. So make sure you get with your counselor to determine your eligibility. Then once you have done that, submit your application through Georgia Futures. It's a free application. There's no application fee. So you submit the application via Georgia Futures. You should have already have an account created. So, because Georgia Futures is where you will fill out your funding application as well as that's where you have information as it relates to your whole information and GPA. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and get that application in. It's free. Submit your official high school transcripts. And as you see there, you can submit it through Georgia Futures. You can have your counselor email our office directly. They can fax it as long as it is coming from the high school counselor. It'll be fine. Submit your official SAT, ACT, or active placer scores if you have already taken those tests. You can have them sent electronically, or you can have them sent via the email. Submit the funding application. This is going to be important because there's two applications. And we want to make sure students understand there's admissions application and there's a funding application. We've had students who have completed the funding application thinking that is the admissions application, and that's not the case. There's two applications, there's a funding and an admission. So you will have to apply to the university. Then once you get accepted, then you submit that funding application, and that funding application will pay for your classes. So that's why this is important. And this is an application that yourself, your parents, and the counselor would need to fill out to ensure that the classes that you're taking here at Savannah State will be paid for by the state. And then you meet with your counselor and the assigned advisor for registration. And our assigned advisor here is Ms. Jana Prater. So you, your counselor, and Ms. Prater will get together, make sure of the classes that you're taking, make sure that you register and proceed from there. And then from there, you will go to our other student support services, i.e. auxiliary services, to get your ID, bookstore, and some other places to make sure you get your books, ID, and other necessary material as you now are becoming a Savannah State student. Now, as we talk about the admissions process, you see on the left and the right side of the screens the two various different ways that you can be admitted. The traditional way, of course, you have to be a rising junior or senior. That's another change that was with the dual enrollment program, that at one time students as early as 9th grade can be able to enroll in the program. But again, as they went to the 30 hours, that scaled it back. So that's primarily targeting those rising juniors and seniors who may have an interest in the program. You want to have an academic GPA of a 3.0. And what we mean by academic GPA, we want to look at your Englishes, your maths, your science, your social science, and your foreign language to determine if you have that 3.0 or B average to participate in the program. Now, with the SAT, if you took the test, 1050 total is what you would need with a minimum of a 480 in the evidence-based reading and writing, 440 in the math. And then if you take the ACT, a composite score of a 20 with a 17 in the English and or reading, Or you can take the next gen active placer, and if you meet those scores of the 237 in reading, the 266 in math, and the 4 in the right placer, you may be eligible for admission. Now we do offer test optional, and that's for this summer and this fall only. We haven't received any confirmation or have received any word that this will extend past fall 2021. So right now, that's these students that are coming in for fall or summer 21. Again, you must be a rising junior or senior. You must have that 3.0 GPA. And then with that 3.0 GPA, you see the following bullet, you must pass Algebra 2. So if you're coming in test optional, meaning you haven't taken the SAT, ACT, or Next Gen Active Placer, or you don't plan to take it, you must have that 3.0 and must pass Algebra 2. So if you have a 3.0 and have not taken Algebra 2 and have not taken the SAT or ACT, then we can have you take the Next Gen Active Placer, and you need that 266 math. So the big difference between the traditional and test optional is, again, if you come in test optional, in addition to the 3.0 GPA, you must have passed Algebra 2 to be considered for admission without any test. To talk a little bit about what's covered and not covered, of course, tuition, mandatory fees, books through a book rental program, application fees, and transcript fees will be covered by dual enrollment. What's not covered, parking decals. So if you decide to drive your vehicle, you definitely need to get a decal, and you definitely need to pay for that decal. Parking tickets. So for those who have gotten decals in your car and have parked in inappropriate places, and if you receive the ticket, that ticket would be your responsibility. A replacement ID fee. Your first ID is free, but if you lose or misplace that ID, then the cost for the replacement will be on that student. And then, of course, lab fees and then meal plans will definitely be on that student, and it's not covered under dual enrollment. So again, how to apply to Savannah State. The application is free. So you go to georgiafutures.org, create an account if you haven't already done so. And then once you are in, you'll go to the college planning tab to submit the application. Now, the application deadlines that you see here are for our normal students, or students who are coming in for the various different semesters. Now, your school may have a different or an earlier application deadline. So though this may be our base deadlines for applications, check with your school to find out if the school has put in a deadline, and most likely they will have put in a deadline for when you need to have application and deadline, the application and other documents submitted, when those deadlines are, and we do adhere to what the school has laid out as those recommended dates. And then you have email communication sent to you every few days. So with a suggestion, I know a lot of students use their high school email address, but again, this is communication that will go on not only while you're here in high school, but beyond. So if you know you don't use that high school email address or don't frequent it a lot, then definitely use a personal email address that you know that you will review on a consistent basis to look for those updated communications. We tell students to look both in your inbox as well as your junk mail, because some of that information that we send, unfortunately, doesn't go into the inbox. It will actually go into the junk mail. If you want to schedule a tour on campus, we are offering tours, and those tours are limited due to COVID-19. This is the link, as well as you can go to the admissions homepage, go to campus tours, and it will have information in regards to the tour. It will have our COVID-19 requirements and policies, so you will have to review that and make sure you understand that before you will schedule the tour, as well as it will have available dates of when we will have tours this upcoming spring semester. So we always welcome students to come and tour and view the campus when you get the opportunity. And then, of course, these are various different social media platforms. So we do have a Facebook page, we have Instagram page, and we also have a Twitter page. So you can always log onto those various different platforms, learn more information about the institution, other things that we have going on. Of course, we have always information that we like to share with our students that has been provided by our wonderful interns that we have here in the office. So again, that is your other way that you can be able to get connected to the institution. And then lastly, in regards to admissions, if there's any questions that you may have, then that is our mailing address. As well as the bottom, we have the point of contact, which is Mr. Carson Tyson, who I introduced a little earlier today. So that is his contact number, fax number, as well as email, if you definitely want to get started with the process and get that going. And so we definitely want to share that information. And then one last piece of advice that I like to share, before we turn it over to question and answer. And this is a conversation that I have with every student as we talk about dual enrollment. There is a distinct difference between being eligible for dual enrollment and being ready for dual enrollment. So we always want to have that conversation with parents and students. This is a wonderful program. This is a wonderful opportunity for that student who is looking to get that jump start into college, to have them take those college classes while they're in high school. But it does come with a great sense of responsibility in regards to, you have to understand that as you are now transitioning from your pedagogical studies at a secondary institution and you go into a post-secondary environment, there are some expectations that those instructors will have. They would not, meaning the instructors or the professors, they would not know that you are a dual enrolled student. So you have that anonymity, you will be in those classes. So you definitely have to make sure that you understand as far as when class assignments are done, you would get what is called a syllabus, which is your contract with you and that professor in that class, and that you read that syllabus to understand when classes will meet, when assignments are done. Because if you don't follow that syllabus and you don't read it, then you're running yourself into a risk of not being academically successful at the institution. And then if you're in a situation to where you're taking this class as a requirement for a high school class, if you don't pass that class, then it can have damaging effect in regards to coming back to your school. So you don't want to run the risk of not, doing well in that class, and now your opportunity to graduate on time is now being thwarted or is being moved because you haven't done successfully in those classes. So again, this is not to scare, and we definitely don't want to scare you, but we just want you to understand the importance of this responsibility, because it's going to take some discipline, especially now that we're in this environment with COVID and a lot of this stuff is virtual. You will be, meeting with classes maybe 2 to 3 days out the week. You have to remember to be in that class and to be attentive and to, get what you need to get out that class, so that way you can be successful. But again, I thank you for this opportunity, Ms. McGuire, to come and share. Of course, we would love for all the students to come to Savannah State, but definitely those who are definitely interested and definitely feel that you can be able to handle the academic rigor as well as being in your high school classes. We welcome you that opportunity to come to Savannah State and be a part of this dual enrollment program. And like I said, the benefits from it is remarkable. I've seen students, under the old system when there wasn't any limit, students who earned 40, 50, and 60 credit hours. So now once you have graduated from high school, got those 60 hours, now you go to college and you're coming into college as a junior. So just imagine a junior, but in this piece, you're coming in as a sophomore. So your first year of college is already completed because you did it in high school. And on the parent side, think about it from a cost perspective. Now, here at Savannah State, if you're just going to classes and you're not staying on campus and you go full time, you're looking at a little over $3,000 per semester. So if you take that and multiply that times 2, you just save $6,000 because the first year has been taken here at Savannah State, and that student can go in as a sophomore. So again, it is a lot of benefits, but it does come with a lot of responsibility. So I always have that conversation of that eligibility and readiness, because there is a difference. You may be academically eligible, but are you ready? And you have to have that conversation with yourself to make sure that you have that mental readiness, that you can be able to be, a self-starter. No one has to be on you about doing this, that. You can get out there, do it, and make it happen. And if you're that individual, then we would love to welcome you to Savannah State University for doing it all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dawsey, and you gave a lot of great information. Students, parents, counselors, if you're here with us, which I see you are based on our views right now, please post in the chat. There is a sign-in link in the chat because we want to be able to follow up with you. So again, please post that in the chat. If you need it, we'll continue to post it, but the sign-in link is there. If you have a question that you want to ask, you can also post that in the chat and we will answer those questions as well. Excuse me. What we also want to make sure that we point out, two things that Mr. Dawsey mentioned: admissions application and the Georgia Futures application. Students get those two, and parents, and even some other education professionals get those two things confused.
Yes.
So that admissions application for Savannah State, again, they need to find that where, Mr. Dawsey?
You go to georgiafutures.org. Again, you will create that profile if you haven't already done so. And then once you create the profile, you log back into the system, and then you go to that college planning tab. And then once you hit that college planning tab, it's another link for application, and then you can move forward from there.
Okay, so that's great information to have. And we are going to try to pull that up here on our screen and share that with you, just so that you know where to go and find that information, so that you can do that admissions application. Again, students, two important pieces, different places there that you have to make sure you complete both pieces in order to make sure that you're able to participate in the dual enrollment program. Okay. Also in the chat, I see a question here, and you stated this earlier, for this coming summer and fall, because with dual enrollment, even though there were some changes, you do have the opportunity to participate in the summer still. But for this summer and fall, your admissions requirements, I should say, are based on that core GPA, not the full GPA.
Yes.
And can we just give our students just what those distinctions are? You have a core GPA, and then you have a cumulative GPA, which that cumulative GPA includes all of your classes, whether that's gym, band, chorus, your CTAE courses, it includes all of that. But that core GPA, or that HOPE GPA, is just those core classes. And can you?
I'm glad you said that, because those core classes, again, that's your Englishes, your maths, your science, your social science, and foreign language. Because that's another kind of triple that I've seen with students that applied. They looked at the overall GPA. I'm like, oh, I got overall GPA of 3.0. And that may be, but just like you said, that's encompassing all your classes. But as we extract those academic classes out, then that GPA may have dropped. So make sure that in your academic classes, again, your Englishes, your math, your sciences, your social sciences, and your foreign languages. Those are the classes where we're going to calculate to determine if you have that 3.0 or that 80 average, because 80 is considered a B here in Chatham County. So you got to have at least that 80 average in those academic classes. So again, English, math, science, social science, and foreign language. And to back it up, even within those academic classes, we want to make sure that you have at least 2 Englishes, you have 2 maths, that you have 2 sciences, 1 science, and 1 foreign language when we evaluate that transfer. So that's why you notice that the requirement is that rising juniors and seniors, because by your junior year, you have had those classes already taken care of, and you have those classes already completed. So again, it's the English, math, science, social science, foreign language, but we want to make sure you got 2 Englishes, which means your 9th grade, your 10th grade complete taken care of, your math, and remember, if it's test optional, you want to make sure you completed Algebra 2. So Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, preferably, that you already completed. Then of course your sciences, the physical science, chemistry, biology, physics, any of those 2 combinations. 1 social science, so by that time you should have already had your American government or your world history already completed, and then your foreign language. So you should have at least already completed 1 unit or 1 year of foreign language when you get to your junior year. So those are the classes we're going to look at. Those are where we're going to calculate that GPA to make sure that you have that 3.0 or that 80 overall average in those classes.
Some very good points that you just made here. And I wanted to also share with students just so that they would know where to go, so that they'll be able to find that Georgia Futures page so that they can complete that application. You'll notice here, I am on the Georgia Future site. If you do not have an account, which a lot of you already have an account, you can go here to create that account. But if not, if you already have one, then you would simply click this sign in, okay? Also for that application piece, okay, and you'll notice they have a lot of information here that will help you, including information on financial aid and how to make those college decisions. But here, if you click on this college applications link, and you'll notice mine is going to pop up because I don't have that account, but that college application link will take you actually there so that you can complete that application, okay? And again, this is a lot different from that funding application, which is found here under this HOPE and state aid programs, because it is a part of the HOPE and all those financial aid programs. A lot of times you can even find that link here under news that you can use, and they'll have a link there for that dual enrollment funding application, okay? GSFC also has some great videos out there to assist. We know that you're in this virtual space. Your counselors can assist you also with completing that piece, or if you're having difficulty with finding that application, whether that's the funding application or the admissions application, they can assist you as well. But we want to make sure that you know admissions application first, then do that funding application next.
Yes.
All right. I wanted to kind of in the next few moments just kind of discuss, are there any other perks that come along with dual enrollment? Do our dual enrollment students at Savannah State get to participate with other, things? Because you mentioned that maturity piece there, but as a part of being on dual enrollment, you're on that campus.
You are.
So
Yeah.
do they get to participate in anything that's going on the campus?
Yes, because what students have to understand, they're actually a college student. So there are some activities that they may have throughout the day that students can participate in. I know they have as far as like joining clubs and organizations, where we're still working that piece as far as, what we can be able to do, because of a lot of the organizations, there are some, dues and other requirements and all that stuff that may be kind of taxing to that high school student. So the students can participate. I mean, they can come to games, they can do all that because they get an ID, and that ID makes them an actual student. So they actually can participate for the most part in all the activities and all the programs that are actually on campus, because again, they're a college student, and pretty much folks outside of the admissions office and maybe some other key places will not know that they are actual high school students. So to the campus community, they're a student. So as long as they have that ID, then yes, they can be able to participate in a lot of the different intercollegiate activities, a lot of the programming that we have here on campus. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to know. You're getting that college experience, not necessarily having to pay for it, because you are a dual enrollment student. Now, are there any lab fees or anything that are associated, or any book fees at all associated with participation?
Yeah. Now with like I said in the PowerPoint, there are some lab fees that are attributed to some of the science courses. So those lab fees are not covered. So students will pay that lab fee, and I think it's no more than like $50 or so that they would pay for that lab fee. And then with books, it's through a rental program. So we're still working out that pieces, but I think that is covered to an extent. But they may just have the student parent leave like a debit or a credit card, because it is a book rental. So if the book comes back damaged or something like that, then that student or the person whose card that is on their account will be charged the price for that book. But yeah, those fees, yeah. So again, what's covered: tuition, mandatory fees. So like athletic fee and all those fees, those are going to be covered. Like I said, books to an extent, and then the tuition. But what's not covered, your replacement IDs I put out there, parking decal. If you have a car and you want to park on campus, you will have to pay for that parking decal. The lab fees, as I mentioned, and then if you want to eat in the dining hall and want to get that meal plan, then you'll be responsible for, obtaining that meal plan that's not covered through dual enrollment.
Okay. All right. So some great distinctions. Again, we're just trying to reiterate some of those points that were made in the presentation. Students, parents, counselors will be back at 6 p.m. To give you another session in case you know somebody, you were like, hey, this was great information. Maybe they missed it. We'll be back at 6 so that they can actually post questions and things live time. This is also recorded and available so that you can share it with others. But we wanted to make sure that we are highlighting the institutions that we have dual enrollment available with here in our area. Great institution, long legacy. Mr. Darcy has been very supportive of our programs here in the Savannah-Chatham County Public Schools, and we definitely appreciate him for that. Again, that sign-in link is in the chat. Please be sure to let us know that you were here. And if you have any other questions, you can post them to get them in at this time. If not, Mr. Darcy, Mr. Tyson, any closing remarks, anything that you want to, anything in addition that you want to share with our audience here today?
Hey there, just want to jump on really quickly. And like Mr. Darcy said, during this process, you really need to do it in conjunction with your counselor and your parents. Don't do this by yourself. And as Mr. Darcy said, there is a clear distinction between being dual enrollment eligible and being ready. So if you're that self-motivated student, and especially now with how classes are set up, you have to really be self-motivated because we want to set you up for success and we want you to find your place here at the University by the Sea. And if y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here for you. And we just really want to see you succeed and not only survive, but thrive here at Savannah State University.
And the same here. Definitely we welcome you to have that opportunity here at Savannah State University. And not only just come as a dual enrolled student, but continue on as an actual enrolled student, because you're definitely going to be a Tiger anyway. So we want to make sure that you continue that Tiger journey and get a degree from this institution. As you said before, we're celebrating 130 years of existence here in the state of Georgia, in the city of Savannah. And we have educated countless number of young minds, not only here in the city of Savannah, the state and abroad. A lot of our alums are in various different key places, making things happen. We're talking to one right now, and this Kimberly McGuire, who oversees the council. So she's a testament to let you know this is what you can accomplish when you get a degree here from Savannah State. So when we say you can get anywhere from here, we ain't just not saying it just to be saying it. We say it because we know it and we can back it up. So we definitely, again, welcome you to have that opportunity. And if there's anything that we can do, definitely let us know.
All right. Well, yes, a proud SSU alum, and yes, I firmly believe in that motto that you can get anywhere from Savannah State. So again, we want to thank you for joining us. We will be back at 6 p.m. With another session. Again, share this with your friends, your family members, others, so that you can tell them about these great opportunities available through the dual enrollment program. A program that will help you earn both college and high school credit at the same time, and put you on a path towards making your career goals possible. So we want to thank Mr. Tyson, thank Mr. Darcy for joining us here today. Thank all of you for being here with us. Again, let us know, there's a sign in the chat. Let us know that you were here. Make sure you share this information with someone. And please take care of yourself and be well. Thank you.